Good afternoon, students. Welcome back to Zoology class. Today, we will discuss one of the most very important concept for genetics, that is polygenic inheritance. What is that concept? That is polygenic inheritance. Dear students, in this session, and just you should focus on three things. And what are those three things? One is the definition of polygenic inheritance, example, and next one is phenotypic ratio. These three is enough. One is definition, examples, third one is phenotypic ratio. That is enough. Okay. Now we will discuss in detail about polygenic inheritance. Dear students, before going to study about polygenic inheritance, you must know about monogenic inheritance. Monogenic inheritance means one gene which is transmitted from one generation to another generation, which can control only one character, that is monogenic. For that monogenic, there is a best example was given by the Mendel about the law of dominance, segregation, etc. As per the Mendel, what he told? He told that only one gene, is responsible for how many characters? One or two? Very good. That is only one character. One gene control how many characters? Only one character. For that has given a lot of example. You can take height of the plant, isn't it? You can take this is only one gene, and this one gene that is responsible for what? Height of the plant. Okay? And what is that height? If this height gene, that is nothing but called capital T, capital T. Okay, it is homozygous condition, and another one is heterozygous condition, capital and small t, or if it is a recessive, it becomes both are small. The question is, as per the F2 generation of monohybrid cross, there is a presence of only two contrasting character. One is tall plant, isn't it? And another one is dwarf. That means, as per the Mendel, only availability of two forms. One is tall as well as the dwarf. The question is, in between the tall and dwarf, there is a variation in the height. For this, we can take example of human height. There is a man. Okay, is a man. Okay, his height is what? Tall. Is a tall. There is another man. Is a dwarf. And as per the Mendel, one is the tall and another one is dwarf. The question is, in a society or in a population of plant or animals, there is a presence of various height in case of plant as well as the animals. Let's see here, some people are this much of height, some are like this, some are like this, isn't it? And these are the different height of individuals in a populations. And this is the one kind of individuals. Here you can see height of individuals get varies. Isn't it? As per the Mendel, only two forms. One is the dwarf and another one is the tall. The question is, whatever the variation, and this is the variation. Okay? The variation found in between the tall and dwarf, isn't it? Which factor or which genes are responsible for such variation within a single trait? This is the question arised by the one of the scientists. His name is Galton. What is the name of scientist? The scientist name is Galton. And the Galton question is asking within a trait there is a variation. It may be height, it may be skin color, it may be any other trait. If is there a variation, which factor is responsible for the variation? And variation within a trait, variation within a character, it is not explained by the Mendel. Got it? To explain such variation within a trait or within a character, that is explained by one of the most famous principle, that is polygenic inheritance. Got it? And this variation is mainly influenced by the polygenic inheritance. Dear students, now we will discuss what it means. And first of all, this polygenic inheritance was proposed by one of the great scientists. His name is Nielsen. His name is what? Nielsen Ihille. Not Ahalle, it is a Ihille. Nielsen Ihille is the first person he explained or described polygenic inheritance. Because of this polygenic inheritance, there is a variation in the plant height as well as human height. Got it? And they will ask you people, name the scientist who described polygenic inheritance. That is, you should remember the scientist name is Nielsen Ihille. How Mendel he worked on pea plant. Similarly, Nielsen Ihille he worked on another plant. And what is the plant name? That is, he worked on wheat plant. Especially in the wheat, he worked on kernel color of wheat. You might be noticed, wheat has different colors on their seeding coat. Here, there is a one word, kernel. What it means? Kernel means edible part of the wheat, or seed coat of wheat is known as kernel color. For that, I will show one chart. Got it? And this is the one chart. Okay, and these are the wheat. Got it? In this wheat, and there are 6 groups are there, but each wheat color get changed, and these are totally reddish in color, and these are light color, isn't it? And this variation in seed color is mainly influenced by the what? Polygenic inheritance, and this is the kernel color of wheat, explained by the first scientist. His name is Nielsen Ihille. Got it? Later, and this is the Nielsen Ihille, and the first scientist. He explained how polygenic inheritance responsible for such kind of variation in different trait of plants as well as the human beings. Got it? And you should remember this example. This is very important for competitive examination, but it is not prescribed in inside the textbook. Okay? Now, let's study one by one. What do you mean by polygenes? What do you mean by polygenes? The word itself indicates. Dear students, in biology, searching of answer it is not difficult, because the question, the word itself says the meaning of what it is. For example, we can take polygenes. We know that Poly means many. Genic means genes. That means many genes are responsible for how many character? Responsible for only one character. Only one trait or one character. Those are known as polygenes. But as per the Mendel, what he told, only one gene responsible for one character. But in polygenes, what happens? Many genes responsible for one character. Such genes are known as polygenes. And these polygenes inherited or transmitted from one generation to another generation. That process is known as polygenic inheritance. Got it? And this is the just small idea about polygenes. And here what it means? It means many genes control one character. That is it, to understand the meaning of what polygenes. If you want to write definition of polygenic inheritance, you must use some systematic manner. Isn't it? Now what is the definition of polygenic inheritance? Let's see. And this is the definitions. In case of polygenic inheritance definition, you must remember these important terms. One is two or more than two genes. How many? Two or more than two genes. They are responsible for. One character. How many genes are responsible for one character? Two or more than two genes are responsible for one character. But this one character is there, it gives cumulative effect. It gives which effect here? Which gives cumulative effect. Which gives what? Cumulative effect. And that is known as polygenic inheritance. What it means? Just to remember, two or more than two genes which can control one character in cumulative manner, and such inheritance is known as polygenic inheritance. Dear students, you get confused with this term. What is that? Cumulative, isn't it? What do you mean by cumulative means? Cumulative means slight variation. What is that? Slight variations. I'll give you an example. You can take this height of human beings. He is very tall. You think he is a 6 feet, and this man is about 4 feet. In between 6 to 4, there is a variation. He is 5.5, he is 5, he is 4, is it? And such slight variation is known as cumulative effect. Single trait, it shows cumulative effect. That is the main feature of polygenic inheritance. Got it? Which inheritance gives cumulative effect? What is that? Polygenic inheritance gives the cumulative effect. Presence of a cumulative character, a presence of variation in the single trait. This polygenic inheritance is also known as cumulative genes. Is also known as what? Cumulative genes. Got it? Why it called as cumulative genes? Because it gives cumulative effect. Got it? And another thing is, how many genes are controlling one character here? Many genes. For many, in biological you are using for multiple. Means many genes means multiple. That's why this polygenic inheritance is also known as multiple genes. Got it? And in some textbook like ABC modern textbook like that, they have given multiple factor inheritance. Multiple factor inheritance or multiple gene inheritance, both are the same. You people don't confuse. Okay? There is another term is there. And this many genes, it represents quantity. Single gene, it shows what? Not that much of quantity, isn't it? Many genes, some of the trait, I will tell you people, height of human being, it is purely under the control of 400 genes in a population. In a population, 400 genes are responsible for controlling one character. It is a quantity or quality? Sure, it is a quantity. And because of that reason, many dominant genes, they can control one character. That's why, and polygenic inheritance is also known as quantitative inheritance. What is that? It is also known as quantitative genes or quantitative inheritance. Dear students, these are all different names for polygenic inheritance. You must remember, because we don't know which term they may be used for your examinations. Dear student, there is another term is there, that is blending inheritance. Blending means mixing. Here, and is intermediate height, he mixed the characteristic of this dog and this dog. And because of this mixing, we are known as what? Blending. Blending inheritance is also known as what? Polygenic inheritance. Let's see how many names it has. How single God has different names. Like this polygenic inheritance is also has different names. Got it? And you should remember all these different terms. Got it? Let's see one by one what are the examples for polygenic inheritance. Dear students, there are many examples are there, but you must remember few with respect to your competitive examinations. Let's see one by one what are the examples for polygenic inheritance. Okay, the first and the best example for your exam, that is skin color of human. And what is that? Skin color of human. And skin color is a one trait, but this one trait is controlled by 3 genes. How many genes here? 3 genes. That's why it is example for what? Polygenic inheritance. Okay? I will show you this diagram. And this chart. Okay? Got it here? In this photograph, and you can see this man, skin color is totally different, and you can take this boy how he is, and you can compare skin color of this individual group. In this group, it going to be varying from one person to another person. We can take example of Africa. How Africa people are present? They are totally black. We cannot see during daytime if they are present in the shadow. And how Americans are present? They are very whitish in color. What about Indians? They are very fair in color. Got it? And what it indicates? It indicates, and the polygenic inheritance is also under the control of what? Environmental factors. It is also under the control of environmental factors. Okay? And because of this environment, Africans are totally black and Indians are intermediate, but Africans, Americans are what? Albino color because of what? Nature of particular area. And we can take this one example. Let's go for another one. Yes, height of human. Height of human. For example, and don't go for your population. If you don't go for your society. Just to take the best example at your home. Can you see height of your grandfather, grandmother, father, mother, and yours? Whether height is become same? No. Say the height become varies. We can take our finger, and these five fingers does not have the same height. And if you compare the population, what happens? Height get varies like anything, and that variation is also example for polygenic inheritance. Dear students, height of human beings in a population, and they are telling that it is a net source 400 genes. 400 genes in a population. If you take entire human population, in that entire human population, 400 genes are responsible for single trait. It shows what quantity, isn't it? That's why they are called it as quantitative inheritance. Okay? And next example, after the height of human beings, I will go for another example, that is eye color of human. Do you know? And our eye color is black. Some people have brown. Some are having what? Blue. Are you notice the eye color of Aishwarya? She has what? Blue color. Because of what? Polygenic inheritance. But that blue color is not found in their family members because it is example for what? Polygenic inheritance. Do you know how many genes are responsible for eye color of human being is? They are telling that 14 genes. How many genes? 14 genes. Unless we can go for another one is intelligence of human. IQ. Isn't it? IQ get varies from one person to another person. And don't go for the population, just we can take the example of your family. Your IQ, compare intelligence or IQ of your father, mother, brother, and sister. Is it same? No. Some are very talented, some are very weak in the competitions. And what it shows, it is also a best example for polygenic inheritance. Like this, many examples are present, and just we can go through many examples. It will help you people for your exam. And first of all, later. And here, for human intelligence, it is under the control of what? 11 sets of genes. How many? 11 sets of genes are responsible for human IQ. Okay? And after intelligence of human, you should go for another example. Hair color. Okay? Hair color of what? Human. Got it? Next one is weight. Weight of human. It is also under the control of what? Many genes. Got it? And apart from that, I told you people, best example is kernel color of wheat. How many genes are responsible for color of wheat? There are 2 genes, and they are capital R, capital R, capital B, small b. This is a one gene, this is another gene. Total 2 genes are responsible for color of kernel in case of wheat. Okay. Later, if you take some other plants, for example, we can take yield of crops. And for example, there is a single farmer is practicing the agriculture in 2 hectares. It's the first hectare and second hectare. In this same hectare is growing, we can take rice. Is growing paddy. Okay, and is a single farmer is putting all kind of fertilizers in equal quantity for 2 hectares of land, and is providing equal quantity of water. Everything is going to be equal. After crop and 1 year, and this first hectare of land, it will give 40 pockets of rice, but hectare 2, it gives 50 pockets of rice. But and if you take the size of land is same, the person is also same. Whatever the nutrients given to this field is also same, but they are not giving same yield because it is influenced by the polygenic inheritance. Got it? And like this, many examples are present. You can take similar example, that is milk yield in animals. In animals. If you have two cattle, they are belongs to same breed, and some cattle they will give 1 liter, another cattle will give half liter. It will be varies because of what? This polygenic inheritance. Like this, many examples are present, students. But let's see, discuss another very important diseases. They are also example for polygenic inheritance. And what are those diseases means? One is hemophilia. And this hemophilia, we know that, and if anybody is suffering, get affected with this diseases, there is no stopping of bleeding. The blood cannot clot, and they can bleed continuously. It is also causes the death. And this hemophilia, it is under the control of how many genes? 2 genes. Okay. Factor 8 gene, factor 9 gene. About this, we will discuss in disorders. And there is another disorder, that is color blindness. And color blindness means some of individual they cannot differentiate which is a red color, which is green color, because of what? Mutation in the 2 genes. Because mutation of how many genes here? 2 genes. Got it? Like this, many examples are present. Even though I have mentioned all these examples for few people, because we don't know which kind of examples they may be asked for your examinations. But you must remember this important example for your competitive examinations. One is the skin color, color of eyes, and this is very important, kernel color of wing. And these are main important 3 examples. Frequently they are asked for your examinations. Even though it is better to remember remaining things. Got it? These are all examples for skin color of human beings. Yeah, students, you can take this chart. Okay? And there are total 9 eye color photos are present here, and these 9 eye color, it varies from one eye to another eye, because this is the best example for polygenic trait. Got it? Like this height of human beings, color of skin color of human beings, etc. And let's see in detail about how polygenic inheritance is shows variation with the help of different genes. We're taking one important example, that is skin color of human. What is that? Skin color of human. How many genes are responsible for skin color? That is about 3 genes. Let's study here. Here, human skin color, controlled by how many genes? 3 genes. How many genes? 3 genes. Dear students, what are those 3 genes? Those are A gene, okay, B gene, third one is C gene. A gene, B gene, C gene. These 3 genes are responsible for skin color of human beings. How it responsible? We know that these 3 genes are very important for synthesis of one skin pigment. What is that? That is melanin. Because of the quantity of melanin, skin color it varies from one person to another person. You might see Africans are very black because they have more melanin. And Americans are very white because they have less melanin or no melanin. But Indians are very fair because we having moderate amount of what? Intermediate amount of what? Melanin because of what? Environment. Got it? And that's why, and sometimes environment play a key role for expression of nutrient. And this is the one best example. In NCERT textbook, he described this concept for your examinations. Let's study one by one how this alleles or genes they can control skin color. Okay, I told you people how many genes are responsible for skin color. 3 genes responsible for skin color. Here that is the skin color. Okay. And dear students, you must remember how many alleles are present in these regions? 6 alleles are present. Each allele is group. First of all, you can see all alleles are dominant like this, capital E, capital C. Okay. If any individuals having 3 genes, those are found in dominant case, and in those people, and these 3 genes produces more melanin. That's why the skin is totally black or darkest skin color. In NCERT, he has given darkest skin color. They are known as Negro. They are known as what? Negroes. Okay? This is the one possibility. And next one is you can take another possibility. If all are dominant, the skin color becomes darkest. If all alleles are recessive, like this. Small a, small a, small b, small b, small c, small c. What is the skin color? These all 3 recessive genes cannot produce any melanin. When they won't produce any melanin, what is the skin color? They are very whitish in color. They are very whitish in color, like albino. And these are known as albinos. Did you see American people are what? They are like white. If they slap on sand, we cannot differentiate where sand and Americans are present because it has become camouflage because of what? Skin color. That much of white they have it because they don't have it any dominant genes to produce such kind of dark skin. And it is a one condition. And that's another condition. If any individuals having intermediate skin color, intermediate skin color, and those are known as mulatto. And those are known as what? Mulatto. Okay. And this is just to compare. In first case, all are dominant. In last case, all are recessive because skin color varies. If 3 dominant, 3 recessive, the color becomes changed. What it shows, in case of polygenic inheritance, I told you people, each allele influences key role to express the different skin color. Got it? And this is the another case. Let's see. Out of these 4 dominant, 6 dominant gene, 6 dominant allele, if one allele becomes recessive, what is the skin color? That is in second case. You can take, and this is become recessive, remaining are dominant. And what is the skin color? They are very dark. They are very dark means they are slight white compared to dark. Compared to darkest people, these individuals light shaded color. But it is in second case. In third case, if two alleles are recessive, like this, B become recessive, and these individuals are dark in color. They are little white compared to very dark. But if three are recessive, they become mulatto, like Indians. Okay? In fifth case, if entire one gene become recessive, what happens? Small a, capital B, small b, capital C, small c, and they are light in color. They are light in color. Later, in the sixth case, if two genes are recessive, small a, small b, small c, capital C, small c, and they are very light. They are not whitest, they are the white but little dark. That's why they are known as very light. If all are recessive, they become albino. Dear students, how many skin variations are presented? 7 skin variation takes place with the help of only 3 genes. Out of 3 genes, there are 6 alleles. Each alleles contribute a certain phenotype. And dear students, and this variation, they are known as cumulative effect, or in other textbooks they are given additive manner or additive effect. Additive effect, cumulative effect, blending. Blending means what? Mixing. You can take mulatto. Mulatto, he has the skin color like dark as well as the light. Similarly, and this very light, it has the characteristic of white as well as the light color. And because of this mixing of character, mixing of color or mixing of any trait, it is known as blending. But because of this reason, and this polygenic inheritance is also known as blending of inheritance. Dear students, these are the main possibilities in case of skin color. Got it? Here you must remember these genotype with the skin color. Based on that, they will ask many questions every year. You can open any textbook. One or another question they will ask based on these things. Got it? Let's see. If you go for crossing, how Mendel he crossed the tall and dark plant, he got different varieties. Got it? Now we will cross different color of individuals. Let's see what is the color of progeny. Okay? It is very interesting. Okay? Let's see what is the coloration. It is very important for your upcoming generations. If you are black, if married to white girl, can you guess what about your progeny color? Can you guess? Let's see what will be there. It will be varies because of what? Skin color is example for what? Polygenic inheritance. Got it? If you have black eye, your wife has blue eyes, what about your child? And all these kind of problems completely solved by and this concept that is polygenic inheritance. That's why we thanks to one of the great scientists. His name is Nielsen Ehele, not Ahale. Okay, is a real and Nielsen Ehele. Let's see. We can write the phenotypic ratio. And first I will write phenotype. Okay? In phenotype, it is a feature you can easily see visible to the human beings. If you are a black, okay? If you are a black and don't feel very bad and you have great future because you are married white girl. White means what? Albino. Okay? White means here albino. Okay? Black means Negro. If you are a Negro, married white girl, we have the great future. Let's see what is the progenic feature. Okay. Now we will write this phenotype to genotype. How will you write? Like this. Genotype. And what is the genotype of black? Black is nothing but darkest. Okay. This is the black. That is what? All are chemical. And white girl, she has skin color is all are recessive. Okay. Next, and these two individuals produces gametes during gametogenesis. And how many kinds of gametes are produced in these two cases? All genes are homologous condition. There is only one possibility, isn't it? All are the similar genes, and this will contribute to one allele, and second one, third one, and these are the gametes. Okay, and this is this girl thing. Okay, and this girl, she can produce the egg. She has like this genotype. When these two gametes, male gamete and female gamete, get fused with each other, it becomes a zygote, undergo embryonic development. After the 9 months, it produces progeny. What is the color of progeny? You can see here in F1 generation, the progeny become like this. What is the progeny color? Can you guess here? It becomes heterozygous condition. It becomes heterozygous condition, and this trait is known as mulatto. Mulatto means intermediate color. If you marry black girl or if you marry black boy, and the progeny color become what? Intermediate, you people don't bother about the generation because it is influenced by the polygenic inheritance. Got it? How these are very strange inheritance in case of human beings as well as plants. Got it? And this is the features of what? F1 generations. And next one is you go for selfie. And mulatto marry another mulatto. Intermediate skin color male marry intermediate skin color of female. What is the progeny characters? What is the possibility of progenies? Can you guess? There is a 64 progenies. All the 64 progenies, they can use 7 skin color. How this 7 skin color is visible? And we can go through Punnett spiral box. From that, we come to know that what are the variation in phenotype as well as the genotype. Got it? Dear students, even though just you will remember how many gametes are produced in this case. Can you got here? The gametes from this progeny. What is the formula? There is one formula to identify number of gametes are produced by heterozygous condition. Okay, there is one formula that is 2 to the power of n. Here, what n represents? N represents number of heterozygous genes. What n represents? Number of heterozygous genes. How many heterozygous genes are found in mulatto? This is the 1, this is 2, this is 3. Then what is the n become 3. Now we can multiply this 2 into 3 times. How many gametes are produced here? 8 gametes are produced. We have got same result in prime hybrid cross. Got it? And 2 characters are present. The gametes have become varies. If it become 3 genes, commonly it produces 8 gametes. When you cross 8 gametes in row and column, you will get 64 possibilities. Out of 64 possibilities, you must identify how many of our parental characters, how many are hybrids or recombinations. Based on that, they will ask for competitive examinations. Dear student, this is the main important concept of what? Polygenic inheritance. Got it? And these are very important for your examinations. You must remember every point in this form. Okay? Now we will discuss how real gametes are produced, what is the phenotypic ratio, what are the questions they are asked for our competitive. Dear students, now we should go for what are the various AD gametes produced by the Mulatto. Okay, if you go for F2 generations, when you go for selfie of F1, selfie of what? F1, what are the gametes are produced here? And this is about what? Mulatto, isn't it? This Mulatto produces how many gametes? Generally, it is 8 gametes. How? And this one gene, you can cross this A gene with B and C. Now you will get 8 gametes. Do you know how it will get? And some people will use some different kind of hints. You should write first 2 dominant, and then you should write 2 recessive, and 3 dominant and 3 recessive. We can use that hint, it is also helpful, but it makes you confusion. That's why there is another very small hint. We can easily write out things. That is, this is what? A again, and you should cross this A again with remaining 2 G's. Okay? And this is the small and this is the capital. Okay? And similarly, you can take a recessive again. And capital B, small b, capital C, small c, here also same. Now you can cross all kind of things. We will get 8 gametes. What are the 8 gametes here? In first case, all are dominant. Okay, for our identification, I will use another color. That is what? All are dominant. Okay? Next, in second case, AB are dominant, C is a recessive. In third case, AC are dominant and B is a recessive. In fourth gamete, A is a dominant, remaining B and C are recessive. Got it? And if you go for next array, here A is recessive, remaining 2 are dominant. Next one is AC is a recessive, B is a dominant. In seventh case, AB is a recessive, C is capital, and last one is AB is a recessive. Now you will count how many gametes are produced here. Total 8 gametes. Okay, and now we should write these 8 gametes in row as well as the column. Okay, you people, you should practice at home. You will get different ideas. Okay, there is a class here. Okay, I will write only one example. I will show how to identify the frequency of progenies. Okay? When you cross like this 8 and 8 gametes in row and column, your students, you will get 64 progenies with various skin color as well as genotype. Here, after all this crossing, what is the possibility of phenotype? The phenotype of F2 generation is, what is that? That is 1 is to 6 is to 15 is to 20 is to 15 is to 6 is to 1. Total, how many cumulative effects are present here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here, how many skin colors are present? 7. Total, out of 64 progenies, there are only 7 phenotypic characteristics are present, and genotypic is also get varies. How many genotypes are produced? And just to cross these 8 gametes, we come to know that what is the possibility. Okay? Let's see out of these two, which is the dark and light. And first one is there. And here there is no space. I don't write all the legal characters. Based on this code, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 means darkest, 4 means mulatto, 6 means light, 7 means albino. Just I write the number, we can compare, you get the different color of human beings. And this first one is there. This is okay, Negro, and this 6 is, second one is what? Very dark, and 15 is dark, and 20 is intermediate, that is the fourth one. And 15 are light, and 7 or 6 is there, that is about what? Very light in color, and 7th one is what? Negro. That is what? Albino. Okay, this is the possibilities. Based on this phenotypic ratio, they will ask some competitive examinations. How they will ask? Out of 64 progeny of F2 generation of polygenic inheritance, how many progenies are resembles to parents? Who is the parent here? Who is the black and white? Out of this, how many are resembling to parents? 1 black and 1 Negro resembles to the parent. This is the one question. Another question. Out of 64 progeny, which progeny shows more ratio, polygenic ratio? That is what? 20. 20, what is that? That is mulatto. Mulatto can show more. Like this, another example they will ask you people. And this is the phenotypic ratio of polygenic inheritance. Identify X, Y, Z. How they will do? They will do this is the X, this is the Y, this is the Z. Okay? X means 6, Y means 20, okay? Z means 1. These are variety of questions they will ask for examinations. And another very important thing is, students to remember, they will ask like this. They're telling what is the skin color of following genotype. What is that? Asking skin color of following genotype. For example, you can take capital A, capital B, capital A, capital A, capital B, capital B, capital C, small c. This is the one genotype. Now you should identify the skin color. Okay? And next one is they will ask all are small, and what is the skin color of these individuals? Okay, and another thing is all are small. What is the one? Like this will give different variation of genotype. For that, you people don't draw all the 64 progeny genotype. It is a waste of time. But there is a very small hint you should remember, that is now we can easily differentiate skin color of these genotype. How we should identify? Based on number of dominant alleles in a genes. Take this example. In the Negro, how many dominant alleles are present? Six. Six dominant alleles is a Negro. There is no rules, and this must be capital small. If all are dominant, it becomes Negro. If five are dominant, it becomes very dark. It may be uh, any genes. Just here they have given A is a recessive. Of course, sometimes B may be recessive if another A is dominant. If any five dominant alleles are present, that is the dark color. If four dominant are present, it is dark color. If three dominant is present, then it right here. If three dominant is present, that is the mulatto. If two dominant is present, it is a light. If one dominant is present, it is very light. If zero dominant is present, that is the albino. Now you can just see. Okay? In this genotype, how many dominant alleles are present in first case? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here there are 5 dominant alleles are present. If 5 dominant alleles means what is the skin color? And these individuals are very dark in color. They are very dark in color. Okay. Next one is what is in this case? In this case, how many dominant alleles are present? Only one. If one dominant is present, what is the skin color? They are very light. Okay. Here, in third case, how many dominant alleles are present here also? Only one dominant is present. What is the skin color? Same. It is very light. So that it is very easy to guess the phenotypic characters based on number of dominant alleles or recessive alleles. Got it? And dear students, another one is based on this phenotypic ratio, they will ask another kind of question. It is asked in AIENT examinations. They are asking what is the bell shape of phenotypic inheritance. So, what is the shape of the graph in polygenic inheritance? Bell shape and triangular shape, etc. They will ask. Can you draw the graph phenotypic ratio? What is the shape of graph? Here and right here. Okay. And first I will write the this is the 20. Okay. After the 20, next become 15, 6, 1. Okay. In left side, there is also 15. That is a 6, 1. Now you can draw the graph. It become like this. It is what? Bell shape. Bell shape graph we are obtained in polygenic inheritance. These are the some possibility of NEET questions. And this is about polygenic inheritance example with genotypic and phenotypic ratio of this inheritance. And next class we will discuss about the next concept of genetics that is also very important for your exams. Thank you so much.